David was not chosen because he was perfect, and that is the part of the story many people forget. Because when we hear the name David in the Bible, we remember the giant he defeated, the songs he wrote, the courage he carried, and the throne he sat on. But we often forget the moments he fell, the nights he failed, the choices that nearly destroyed everything God had given him. And yet somehow, even after all of that, God still called him a man after his own heart, and that alone should make anyone listening pause and wonder why. Because David's failure was not small, it was public, painful, and layered with consequences. He committed adultery. He abused his power. He tried to hide his sin, and when that didn't work, he allowed an innocent man to die. And still, God did not erase David's calling. He disciplined him, yes. He allowed consequences to come, yes. But he did not replace him. And that tells us something uncomfortable but beautiful about the heart of God. That being chosen by God was never about David's perfection. It was about David's posture. Because when David was confronted by the prophet Nathan, he did not defend himself. He did not blame others. He did not justify his actions. Instead, he broke. And in that breaking, he did something many people never do. He fully owned his sin and fully surrendered his heart, crying out to God not for his reputation, not for his throne, but for a clean heart and a restored spirit. And that response mattered more to God than the failure itself, because God can work with a broken and honest heart, but he resists a proud and hardened one. And this is where David's story quietly becomes our story. Because many people believe they have disqualified themselves from God's purpose because of one mistake, one season, one moment they wish they could erase. But David's life stands as proof that failure does not cancel calling. Unrepentance does. And the reason David was still chosen was not because God ignored his sin, but because David never walked away from God after it. He stayed, he returned, he humbled himself, and he allowed God to shape him through the consequences rather than run from them. And that is why even after the fall, David continued to worship, continued to seek God, continued to write psalms from a place of pain and humility. And those psalms still heal people today, because they were written by a man who knew both the heights of God's favor and the depths of human weakness. And through David's story, God shows us that he is not looking for flawless people. He is looking for faithful ones. Not those who never fall, but those who know how to get back up and run toward him instead of away. And if you feel like you have failed too badly to be used by God, David's life whispers a different truth, that God's grace is not fragile, his calling is not easily broken, and his plans are not canceled by your worst moment. They are refined through surrender. And maybe the reason God is still holding on to you, still calling you, still working in your life, is not because of what you've done right, but because, like David, you still have a heart that can be softened, shaped, and returned to him. And that is why David was still chosen, not because he never failed, but because he never stopped belonging to God.